We are going to be doing an online lab tonight that will mimic a lab that we are going to do tomorrow. So you're going to need to go to Moodle as usual, and in the mitosis and DNA replication section, this is my screen, that's why it looks slightly different from yours, but you'll still have all of these things in this section. So click on the Onion Root Lab. This is going to be a Word document that you're going to be filling in your answers as you work through this online lab homework. So we'll just kind of wait for that to pull up. Sorry, my computer's a little bit slow. Once you get it pulled up, it has a URL that you're supposed to go to actually do the lab, and then this document is where you fill in your answers, and we will go over them tomorrow in class. Alright, so there it is. So I tell you to go to this site, so Control click on it. It's going to take you to this website. Okay, so while that's loading, it says to answer the following questions using the first page. So there's some background information on mitosis on the first page, talking about the different phases, which we have already learned about in class. So you're going to want to read through those descriptions to affirm your knowledge of that, and then answer these two questions. Now, these are some questions you're going to have to think about. We might not have talked about this thoroughly yet. This is something that we're going to continue to build on over the next few days. But you're going to have to think your way through these two pre-lab questions. Then you guys will scroll down and press next. So let's go to the website and see what that looks like. So this is that first page that you're going to use to answer those first two questions. Okay, there's lots of information here. Then it says to scroll down and press next at the bottom once you've answered those two questions using the information on the first page. Okay, and it says to write down each stage and draw a picture for reference throughout the lab. So you can kind of sketch down a picture like the picture that they have on the website, which you will use as a comparison throughout your lab. So it says to press next after I've answered those two questions. And here are all the different phases. Okay, so let's go back one more time and see what it says to do. It says write down each stage and draw a picture for reference throughout the lab. Okay, and then we will continue through. So here's interphase, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. We know that there's cytokinesis after that, but we're focusing on these phases. So these are the pictures that you're going to want to sketch on your lab document so that you can refer back to them as you're going through the lab. All right, so once you've done that, continue through the activity, pressing next when you have completed the page so that you can continue through the lab. So going back to the lab, press next once you've finished reading through each of these descriptions, writing down the name of the phase, and sketching a picture on your lab document. Okay, so now you're going to read through these instructions, and this exact chart is on your paper here. Okay, so you're supposed to use this to complete the lab, and the instructions for the lab itself are actually here. So you're going to read through word for word. Okay, you don't get to just skip through the reading. You have to read in order to understand what's going on. Okay, so just read through the instructions. This page explains to you what to do with the this page describes what to do with your data on this data table. And then this page is where the experiment actually begins. So determining the time spent in different phases is what we're trying to do. So you're going to click on the phase that you think that this cell belongs in. So you see that the chromosomes here are lined up in the middle, and they're about to be pulled apart. So remember that the chromosomes line up in the middle and get ready to be pulled apart during metaphase. Okay, so we got that one correct. Okay, so now we're going to try to classify this next cell. So that's what we're going to do. It's going to give you a lot of cells, and each one you're just going to click on which phase you think it goes into. And as you click on them, they're just going to line up in whatever column that they go into. If you get it wrong, it'll tell you that you got it wrong, and it will give you another chance. You get to keep trying until you get it right. Okay, so go through all the cells until it tells you that you're finished. Okay, and then you're going to come back enter all of your numbers of how many cells are in each phase, and then calculate your percent of which cells were in which phase. And then you're going to come back and explain your results in 1 or 2 paragraphs. Okay, so make sure that you follow all of those directions. This is independent work. The lab that we do tomorrow will be with your lab partner. Okay, so be sure to send me an email if you have any questions, but this is mimicking a lab that we will do in the future.